Lunges. So starting with lunges, we will do them body weight and we'll do them assisted. The first assisted lunge I would have someone do, pardon me while I step out of frame, is a strap assisted. By holding on to a strap, gives a little bit of counterbalance, and it takes some of the load out of my lunging leg, my root leg, the leg that's doing the strength work. When we're lunging, front leg is the root, rear leg is a kickstand. So it is not about loading my weight into my rear foot and then towing off to put myself back on top. It's about pushing through the front leg and returning to lunge. So strap assisted lunges would be the starting point. This is either a parallel starting point, or maybe if once straps are no longer working, no longer tough enough, or you need a little more challenge, because this will be 100% of your body weight. A step up is similar to a lunging pattern, and both of these can be used if, especially if knees are sensitive about lunging. The great thing about the step up is that we can use 100% of our body and not have to have the leg go into as deep of a lunge stance. So grab a box that's an appropriately high one. If you do it too high, you don't want it. Your box lunge shouldn't, box step, I'm sorry, shouldn't look like this. You should already have your hip on top of your knee for your starting point. Something about all step ups, whether you're stepping up stairs or a hill, this is that hill hike technique. Putting your whole foot on the surface, so not just the toes, don't hang a heel and then push up. Whole foot goes flat, and then if you lift your toes, you can help confirm that heel root. Use your heel and your hip to stand you up, and that will bypass overusing the knee. So heel and hip can bypass overusing the knee. When you walk up anything like this, hanging a heel, pushing through toes, all of this is going to be knee, 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 knee. That's great if you have super strong knees, but knees can wear out over time, and we have a lot more problems with people having weakness in the knee joint. And we don't have a whole lot of problem when people have too much strength in their butt. So use your butt, build strength there, and learn how to use that as another option. Now, lunges. Moving forward would be body weight lunges. And if I do this, I'll get these things out of my feet. So you can see my feet. When we step back, only step back as far as you need for balance. And then you're going to sit straight down and come all the way back up to a stand. Fully extend through the hips. A lunge is not just straightening my leg. This isn't good enough. Hips, everything needs to stack on top of neutral. I try to keep my body line tall. The only time I might hinge forward a little bit more is if I need to really confirm my hip hinge. It's the only time I would let my body lean forward, and it would not be collapsing my body forward. If you find yourself coming up out of your lunge having to do this, that means whatever load you're carrying, even if it's your body weight, is a little bit heavy for your lunge. You should be able to control all the way down and then all the way back up. Remember, this is the root, this rear foot is a kickstand. Now sometimes we find folks have problems flexing their toes too much. If that is a problem for you, these can be done with a plantar flexed foot. Here, this will make it a lot tougher because you can't really use hardly any pressure off of that foot. But it is okay to do that if that helps you do your toes. Next progression, adding weight. So here is where we start getting heavy. You're going to carry the weight on the same side leg that's doing the work. So keeping the weight as close to my body, don't wing it out here. Strong abs, tall spine, and then push through that front foot to bring myself all the way back up, full extension. So watching from the side here, I just trained lunges today, so we'll see how well my form holds together. Strong, tall spine, all the way back up to a full stand. I'm not done here. All the way back up, full neutral stand. Notice that my weight comes down just behind my heel, just a little bit in back here. that's where I'm aiming. And my arm and the weight that it carries is going straight up and straight down. I'm not doing any lifting with my upper body at all. I'm just bracing, squeezing my arms in. So bracing my arm to my body. And then the final progression, and this really comes when either the lopsided weight is too much or your grip strength gives out, is to do a double kettlebell lunge. So here, stepping back, pressing back up. Now I'm alternating to demonstrate. Generally when we're working lunges, for strength, we want to do all the reps on one side and not alternate our reps. That's good if you're doing stamina and you're not worried about building strength, but for building strength, you want to do the pattern multiple times. So that's the final progression, is just putting more weight on it, moving slow. This is a slow is strong movement, especially when you put heavy weights on. It's not trying to go as deep as possible into our lunges. We'll do our deep lunges for their own sake. We don't need to put a ton of weight on our deep lunges. Only stepping back to where you need the assistance from. And then in terms of the knee angle, it can be either way. Either the knee can stay right on top of the heel or thereabouts. This is going to help make it more hip dominant. So if I want to stay out of my knees, this is how I will do it. I'll keep my knee more to the back of my foot. If I want to work pushing more than pulling, so hip extension connects with pulling movements. If I want to connect with knee extension, then I do that by sliding forward more. Notice that my foot is flat, and I'm not doing a toe press. My foot is flat, and then I'm pressing up. This will activate more knee. So you can use it to build knee strength. It can be more of a squat or more of a hinge, depending on how you want to play it. It can be somewhere in between. But that's up to you and your knees. Please do ask questions if you're doing it and you're not sure if it's the right one, the right mix of load, technique, all of the things that I just talked about. Happy lunging.